On Thanksgiving Day, Kelsey Berreth walked into a grocery store and vanished. No signs of struggle, no goodbye, just gone. What followed was a web of deception, a secret mistress, and a murder so calculated it took 3 states to unravel. This is not just a story about a missing woman. It's about the people you think you know, and what they're capable of behind closed doors. Soundbite of a real 911 call from Kelsey's mother. I haven't heard from my daughter in 10 days. She's missing and she has a 1-year-old baby. Woodland Park, Colorado, a peaceful mountain town, known for its quiet streets and scenic views. November 2018. Kelsey Berreth, 29, a flight instructor and devoted mother. Patrick Frazee, Kelsey's fiancé and the father of her child. Kelsey Berreth lived a life most would consider ordinary but happy. A private, hardworking woman, she had recently moved to Colorado from Washington to build a life with her fiancé, Patrick Frazee. The two shared a 1-year-old daughter and were supposed to be planning a wedding. But behind that picturesque image, something was deeply wrong. They didn't live together. Kelsey kept her own home, while Patrick lived with his mother on a nearby ranch. Friends noticed tension, and Kelsey's mother, Cheryl, worried that Patrick seemed controlling. On Thanksgiving Day 2018, Kelsey was seen on surveillance footage shopping at a Safeway. She held her daughter in her arms. It was the last confirmed sighting of her alive. When no one heard from Kelsey for days, no texts, no calls, no work attendance, her mother called police. A missing persons report was filed. But what started as a welfare check quickly became a full-scale criminal investigation. At first, Patrick Frazee told police a simple story. He and Kelsey exchanged their baby on Thanksgiving, had a quick visit, and she left. He even said she texted him later that day. That same day, 3 texts were sent from Kelsey's phone, one to her employer, saying she'd be gone for a week, and another to Frazee. But something was off. Why would a devoted mother vanish without telling anyone? And why did her phone ping hundreds of miles away, in Gooding, Idaho? Police uncovered surveillance footage from Thanksgiving. Kelsey was seen entering Safeway, but there was no sign she ever left. No car, no exit, just a fade to black. Even more disturbing, Patrick never reported her missing. In the following days, his behavior grew stranger. He told conflicting stories, claimed Kelsey was emotionally unstable, suggested she ran away, but detectives weren't buying it. As they dug deeper, a name surfaced, one no one expected: Krystal Lee. Krystal Lee was a nurse from Idaho. She had known Patrick for over a decade, and she wasn't just an acquaintance. She was his secret lover. When investigators traced Kelsey's phone ping to Idaho, it led straight to Krystal. Under pressure, Krystal cracked. She told detectives a story so disturbing, it shocked the nation. Patrick Frazee, she claimed, had been planning to kill Kelsey for months, and tried to get her, Krystal, to do it. He asked me to poison her coffee, to beat her with a metal pipe. I said no, but he kept pushing. Eventually, Patrick told Krystal he had taken care of it. According to her testimony, Patrick lured Kelsey into her own apartment on Thanksgiving under the pretense of a game to guess candle scents. As she stood, eyes closed, trying to identify the scent, he bludgeoned her to death with a baseball bat. Their toddler was allegedly in the next room. Krystal said Patrick then called her. He needed help cleaning up. Krystal drove over 700 miles to Colorado. Inside Kelsey's apartment, blood was everywhere. She scrubbed walls, cleaned carpets, removed evidence, and took Kelsey's phone back to Idaho to send misleading texts, trying to make it look like Kelsey left town. But despite their efforts to cover it up, investigators pieced it all together. Cadaver dogs hit on Patrick's truck. Blood samples found in Kelsey's apartment matched her DNA. Krystal agreed to testify in exchange for a plea deal, and Patrick Frazee was arrested for murder. The trial was a media circus. Prosecutors painted Frazee as a manipulative, cold-blooded killer. They described a man who wanted custody of his daughter, but didn't want to go through court. Instead, he chose murder. The prosecution's star witness, Krystal Lee, she took the stand and described every horrifying detail. The jury listened in stunned silence. There was blood everywhere, on the walls, the floor. He told me, I had to do it that way. It was the only option. The defense tried to paint Krystal as the real killer, but the evidence, surveillance, text records, DNA was damning. In November 2019, a year after Kelsey vanished, Patrick Frazee was found guilty of first-degree murder, solicitation to commit murder, and tampering with a body. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole, plus 156 years. Krystal Lee, despite her role in cleaning up the murder, received 3 years in prison for evidence tampering after taking a plea deal. The case ignited public outrage. People questioned how someone could do this to the mother of their child, how a woman, another mother, could help cover it up, and how no one saw it coming. Kelsey's body was never found. Her family held a memorial without remains. Her daughter was placed in the custody of Kelsey's parents, who continued to raise her away from the darkness her father created. Kelsey Berreth trusted the wrong person. A man she thought would be her partner for life became her executioner. A friend became an accomplice. And a life, full of promise, ended behind closed doors on a day meant for gratitude and love. This story reminds us, evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it smiles in family photos and says all the right things. And sometimes, the most terrifying monsters are the ones who claim to love us most. Smiling,